Welcome to the undrafted, uncensored cast of Pod.
I feel welcome.
Hosted by Nick Archuleta. Mosted by Colin Zanker. And last but certainly is least, Joseph Goodwin.
And welcome in, everyone, to the Undrafted Uncensored, a part of the E5280 Sports Network, where I don't know about you guys, but I hate all this streaming technology and the fact that I can't watch CSU right now because I have to do it on my phone, but I need my phone because I have my rundown on the phone for the show because I want to do a good show, and Hawaii's just stupid and shouldn't be a state.
What you do is just pick up like a tablet, and then you can just run Stream East on that.
Yeah.
Don't you talk about my sister state like that.
Hawaii's stupid and shouldn't be a state. It should be a territory.
Territory, but it didn't be.
You just got Puerto Rico'd.
Get demoted.
The annexation of Puerto Rico.
Why do you want to sit there and watch CSU lose?
They're not going to lose. They're going to be only D1 team to make a bowl run, probably. Well, no, the Falcons will still make a bowl. They just won't get as good of a one. But we'll talk about that later.
I worked that last game.
That was a good game.
Yeah, I think I'm a bad luck charm for the Falcons. Almost every game I've worked. Well, I worked a couple early ones where they won, but overall, it's been bad.
Yeah, so stop working on. It's Saturday night. Full about my money. Don't try to save. Let's have a good time. And tomorrow we're gonna rock it up, right? We're gonna rip it up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's brown, flush it down.
By rock it up, I mean you mean like watch the most boring defensive game that the NFL has seen in the last 10 years? Yeah, sure, probably.
Field goals.
I don't know. Did you watch that Jets-Giants game? Was that Jets-Giants?
That wasn't really a defensive game. That was two totally inept offenses playing against one, and one was against a good defense. Like this is two offenses that are okay, middle to lower of the pack in offenses. But the defenses are playing out of their mind. So both these offenses are going to look like they are the Jets and Giants with Danny, don't call me Tommy DeVito. And Zach, I love your mom, Wilson. Sorry, quarterback.
Zach's mom has got it going on.
She really does. But the Jets and the Giants don't on offense, and the Broncos and the Browns both seem to have at least some offensive talent. The Browns' run game is good. Even losing Nick Chubb. Even without Nick Chubb, I mean, it's good. Kareem Hunt, who has beaten our defense, amongst other things, multiple times, is someone that can, hurt the Broncos. And, yeah, Jerome Ford, would it really surprise you to see the Browns have another running back? It's either the Browns or the Bengals, but they always have a running back go off on the Broncos. I mean, who was it? Oh my goodness, why am I blanking out his name for the Bengals? Who went off for like 225?
Running back Joe Mixon.
No, it starts with a C. This is years ago.
Chase.
Running back.
Cedric
was it? Yeah, I believe it was Cedric Benson.
If it was a C, It was Cedric Benson. They had one of my guys, the law firm, Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. That was a good one.
And then
Jeremy Hill.
And then last year it was Dearness Johnson
for Cleveland. Yeah,
for Cleveland. The Browns and the Bengals kicked the Broncos' ass.
I remember. Was it 2 years ago when we lost to Cleveland? It was like a Thursday night. It was like sort of a big game. I was just like, you know what? I don't trust Vic Fangio's defense. And I picked up Dearness Johnson and I started him in fantasy. And that was the first year that we were all in the fantasy league together. And it was so awesome. I won that week, and I was like, man, I'm so good at this free agency thing, and that was just good enough to not make the playoffs.
I feel like we were watching that during class.
I think we did. Yeah, it was one of you guys.
Definitely wasn't me. I think
if Nick remembers, it was Nick.
See, my only concern is the Broncos have a notorious history for going in there against a subpar backup quarterback that's just in there to fill the void, and somehow, some way, the defense can't seem to remember how to cover anybody. And now I'm worried DRT is going to look like a stellar rookie instead of a mediocre backup like he should be.
I mean, maybe, but this team, it feels like they've really got that mentality down. They are treating this like every game is a playoff game because they don't know how many games they can afford to lose. So, especially with going up against a rookie quarterback, I think they're going to play that much tighter. I think it's going to be really close. I think both, defenses are going to have to stop the run. I'm not sure how great he's going to look. He looked okay though in the previous game. I'm just hoping he targets Amari Cooper more for fantasy football purposes. But I think it's, like Colin said, I think it's going to be real grindy, pretty boring, a lot of field goals. I don't know, man. I think both teams really have that mentality of like, no, we need to win every possible game. Like the Browns are on the cusp of starting Joe Flacco if Dorian Thompson-Robinson
that's what the Broncos don't need.
Like keep it up. And
he actually played
well. Remember Joe Flacco with the Jets last year? He was like undefeated or like 3-1 before Zach Wilson came back and was Zach Wilson. They
went through Zach Wilson and Mike White and
like that, and Chris Streveler. Like that might end up being what the Browns go with going forward because they can't trade for anybody. So like, what are they? You can't get a buyout like in the NBA. What are they going to do? They're stuck with free agents. I guess you get, what is it? Peak Flacco, peak prime Flacco. But no, it's going to be a tough game, man. These teams are both pretty close. I feel like in most aspects. Obviously, the Browns got the advantage on pass rush, but the Broncos, I think, have the advantage in secondary. Denzel Ward's very good, but I couldn't tell you who any of their safeties are, and maybe that's a mistake on my part. And they're good, but
yeah, I found it. It was, by the way, to go back to what I was talking about, October 22nd, 2000. Corey Dillon.
There it is.
22 attempts, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 12.64 average. In his backup, Peter Warwick. Oh, man. There's a name. Three rushes for 90 yards, 30 average, and 1 rushing touchdown. And then Brandon Bennett of not Tony Bennett's Hall of Fame. He also got a rushing touchdown.
That's awful.
Yeah, they combined for over 400 yards of rushing against the Broncos that day.
That's insanity. I was like, remember like the Priest Holmes game?
Yeah.
They did not. There wasn't just one, but those when I was younger, and they would just drive me crazy. The Broncos, just something about the Broncos and stopping the run, man.
And it's always against the Bengals and the Bills too. I mean, they seem to run all over the Broncos, and so I'm scared about Jerome Ford feeling some Detroit power in Denver for some reason.
It's time for Josie Jewell to, earn that paycheck.
PJ Locke's listed as questionable.
Understandable.
And he's the only one.
We kind of expected that, though. I don't think they'll release for sure until like right before the game potentially. Or they might even keep that questionable tag on them just because they know they can get away with it because he's had the injury history, even if he looks pretty much healthy, just to keep that extra little bit of uncertainty for Cleveland. But either way, like, let him try to go deep. Like, this pass rush is solid. This secondary, Jaquan McMillan's going for, I wish he had some pick sixes so he could like compete with the Dallas guy for most pick sixes.
Deron Bland. Yeah, right.
Yeah, Deron Bland.
6. Yeah, right.
Yeah, Deron Tasteless and Bland. But yeah, no, that's I'm not too concerned about that. I think, knock on wood, the Broncos, I think can handle that. I think after the Dolphins lost, they've really kind of tightened that area up, and as long as you don't have anybody spearing anybody in the first possession,
We're going helmet to helmet.
Yeah, it's going to be. I can't wait for 16-12.
Yeah, the line has gotten bet down, I believe, down to 32 in this game.
Oh, is it down to 32 now?
I believe so. I'll have to double check and I'll double.
You know what? I might take the over if it keeps getting that low as the total. That's because all it takes is one.
All it takes is one of them to get to 21.
Yeah, no, not even. Just one of them will get to like 18 or 19.
18,
yeah.
Well, you need 18 or 19, and then you need 14 from the other team.
It's possible with this defense.
Absolutely, yeah.
You're asking both these. We already mentioned that both these offenses are subpar. You expect both of these offenses to score 15, 16 points?
No, pick sixes, fumbles. I'm just saying total points. I think especially with the quality, like Myles Garrett on Russell Wilson holding the ball too long, dude.
I don't know if Sean Payton is dialing up those pass plays against this.
He better not be.
No.
I want screens over the head of Myles Garrett, or if he's sniffing him out to the other side of Myles Garrett, don't even give him a chance. I want all that quick underneath shit that we've seen the past few weeks. Like these game plans that we've seen have been solid. They've been like what we hoped we were going to see early on in the season, where we were concerned that Sean Payton had lost it. What's up?
I don't know if solid is really the word I would go with. It's been successful.
Not great. Yeah, successful, solid, not great. Not overly good. Solid is like mid. Like solid is acceptable because they've won the game, so it's acceptable.
I still have a hard time.
They ran the ball. They've committed to the run, whether they've had success with it or not, which I think is a huge part of having that kind of running identity. Because early on in the season, we were pissed off because it was 15 plays looked well designed and organized, and then the Broncos would just fucking fall apart, and it would drive us nuts. And now we're finally seeing a full game plan that they're committing to. Is it fancy? Does it score that many points? No, not really, but it keeps the field position game in our favor. It scores whether it's 3 or 7. Sometimes it's just a bunch of threes, but hey, you score at the end of the half, you score at the end of the game, you get these quick, game-winning drives from Russ. How many is that? Yes, they're all on field goals, but still, like, that kind of shit mattered. Like, this defense isn't on the level of the 2015 Broncos, but that's how the 2015 Broncos won games, is with field position and field goals.
But you know whose defense is on the level of the 2015 Broncos? The Cleveland Browns. So why the hell do you think that this Broncos team that's below average is going to be able to drive and make those games? Like,
who knows?
They're going to they're going to also have to get turnovers. That's what I'm saying. Yep. And they've been able to do that the last few weeks. But also, when you look at a running game, in a running game, you're a lot less likely to get turnovers.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a run-heavy game, and that's what we can expect. I mean, it's going to be still cold weather out. Maybe we'll be surprised, and both these teams will try and air it out for some dumbass reason. But I don't see that happening. I don't know why that would be anyone's game plan coming in here, especially when the Broncos have been torched on the ground.
Oh.
And that is Cleveland's strength right now.
Wouldn't that be the most Nathaniel Hackett thing, is to try to air it out in the frozen tundra of Cleveland? Or no, it's here.
It's here, dude.
But it's here. But to try to air it out in the freezing cold, and that would. I'm so glad we don't have that anymore. Sorry to interrupt, Colin.
No, hey, you're good, but it's just there is no way that I can see this game just going that way, where the Broncos have a chance at a game-winning drive, like they get the ball after a punt on the 5-yard line or whatever. Like, sure, then they might have a chance, but I don't have faith that the team. Oh, whoa. Okay, I'm wrong. I must have been looking at a different game. It's still 37. I'm definitely taking the under on 37.
Oh, no. Yeah, not 37.
Yeah, take the under on that.
Wow, what did I see 32 on? It must have been some other game that I saw like 32 on.
I
But
mean, the slant of the 7 kind of looks like it has a 2 at the bottom.
maybe that was it. I really don't know what I was. Oh, it might have been.
Just tell everyone that you're dyslexic. We'll believe it.
Well, the Bengals Steelers are at 36. Panthers Titans are at 36 also. Oh, Patriots Giants 34.
Ha! Ha!
This is a bad week for football. I mean, it should be some
That's kind
competitive
of fun,
games,
though.
but it's
Can
bad.
we pick
It's bad for
Patriots
football.
Giants? That's hilarious.
Well, like
Can
we
that
talked
be one
about
of our
last
games,
week,
Colin?
the Broncos were primetime Sunday night.
That is not good radio, Joe.
I'm sorry. I had to burp.
Well, you have a mute button.
Yeah. But it's
All
less
right.
authentic.
Well, as I was saying, look at last week when the Broncos are primetime Sunday night football, and even those games, I'm surprised didn't get us flexed.
Well, I think the NFL has proven this year that they don't really want to flex games, but there's what I mean, we could look at the matchups again. There are not good matchups this week for flexing out games, but
you have to remember too, they've already played 3 games this week because you had 2 on Thursday and then another one on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, Sunday night football is really the game. No, the Sunday afternoon game, excuse me. Bills, Eagles is kind of the game of the week, but that's still kind of a shitty game.
Yeah. The Bills are not playing up to par. That's going to be an Eagles runaway.
They're playing for Joe Brady, their new OC.
I mean, surprisingly, if any game was going to get flexed this week, it should be the top of the morning game, the Texans and the Jaguars.
Yeah,
that should have gotten moved. That should have gotten moved to Monday night over Bears Vikings, but
yeah,
Bears Vikings at the start of the year actually had some intrigue, and it still kind of does with Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, that's still a division game too.
Baltimore Chargers actually kind of makes sense. As
Sunday
a Sunday
night's
night
good.
Game.
Yeah, Sunday night's good with the Chargers and
okay.
Ravens.
Oh, you mean Monday night? Can they flex Monday night?
No.
Okay. Why did they choose Bears Vikings in the first place? That was never going to be a good game.
No. No, it could easily be a good game. If you think about the start of this season, where the teams were, the Lions were on the come up. You have the Bears, what's going to happen with Justin Fields, excuse me. The Vikings had Kirk Cousins, who's, this is a playoff team from last year. The Bears are the team that's hoping to take that next step and be the playoff team and dethrone the Vikings in a way. I think that actually at the start of the year had some pretty damn good intrigue, the Vikings and the Bears game.
I think the Bears were going to be going for the last pick in the draft, because they were already going to get pretty close with the Panthers pick, and they can really build the idea of getting your favorite quarterback and Marvin Harrison Jr. That's ridiculous. That's and trading Justin Fields. And getting potentially another first-round pick or a couple of seconds or whatever the fuck you can get. That just sounds nuts to me. That's like Oklahoma City level of draft pick hoarding. So I feel like the Bears were always going to be bad. They've played better than I expected with the talent level that I think they have. Especially with guys like Tyson Bagent. Come on.
Yeah, what if Justin Fields is your quarterback and you can get those top 2 picks and you get Marvin Harrison in the best left tackle,
And if you love Justin Fields, yeah, I feel
there was a chance from the way he finished last year. Last year he finished on a tear, which is part of the reason why the Chicago Bears traded that number 1 overall pick to Carolina, because they didn't want Bryce Young or CJ Stroud because they believed in what they saw last year and they were going to give him another shot. So if you look at the start of this year or the way that it ended for the Bears, I think that this had a lot of intrigue early on. Like I said, the injury to Kirk Cousins. I mean, now it's a Josh Dobbs show. But for the most part,
looked fun.
Yeah, for the most part.
Except against the Broncos.
Except for against the Broncos. This week is a bunch of games that are just, I don't know, maybe they're not fun because the matchups, it's good against good on a lot of them.
Yeah.
I think there's some sneaky good ones. They're all pretty evenly matched teams except for Kansas City and the Raiders. New Orleans and Atlanta are both very mediocre. One's a very heavy passing team. One's a very heavy running team. I think the Saints are a little bit better, but the Falcons can just take over with the run game at any time.
If Arthur Smith decides to use Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, if he actually decides to use the pick,
he hasn't used him since week 1.
That pick didn't make sense to me in the first place because you already had Tyler Algier and Cordarrelle Patterson. Like, you needed other stuff. You needed a quarterback and like that. Whatever, I guess they got him, and they're still not using him. Like, I feel bad for the guy in our league who took him with the first round pick.
Ajayi!
Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. That looks like a really fun game too. Cincinnati gets to show off their potential backup quarterback and try to do something, or just tank and do nothing. And we'll see Pittsburgh. But I'm rooting for Cincinnati in that game, obviously, because we want to leapfrog teams like Pittsburgh and Cleveland going forward. So that's a game where at least I have sort of a rooting interest for my team, because now we have to root for other stuff.
But that's still a terrible game right now.
Yeah.
I mean, early in the season, like this week, yeah, some of these games could have been good.
I think Tampa and the Colts will be fun.
I mean, just because Gardner Minshew's there, that might be Gardner Minshew and my homeboy Baker Mayfield. Like,
exactly,
yeah,
that's hilarious.
Are two fun guys to watch, but
can you imagine the short guys throwing interceptions in this game, Colin?
It's not going to be good football, man. Like,
exactly, it's going to be hilarious. It's going to be close games. You're going to be on the edge of your seat because you don't know what the fuck is going to happen. The Colts just released Darius Leonard.
I got a deal for you. Since these are such intriguing games, I would love for you to recap these games and watch them in full.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if we'll have time to watch all of them by our
Nope.
No.
Edge of your seats, you got to watch it.
No, that's too many games to watch. We could pick like 4, maybe 5 that I'll have time to watch in the next few days for our pod. Like, I got shit to do. I can't just watch all the football games.
You just named 3 of them: Steelers, Bengals, Buccaneers, Colts, and Saints, Falcons. You sit through those games and watch them and tell me how good they are. And you give a recap to all of us on really what you thought about those games, because it is going to be shitty football, dude.
Can I switch Pittsburgh, Cincinnati for Carolina, Tennessee? I think those teams are also closer.
Oh my God, that's another terrible game. Why do you?
I know, because if I choose a game that looks good, you wouldn't say yes.
Sure, you could watch all 4. I don't know, watch half of one and the other half of the other, and tell me if they look any different besides crappy football.
This sounds hilarious. I'm totally gonna do that. We'll have Joe. That actually could be a fun segment. Actually,
Joe's
recap of shitty sports games.
Joe's gonna tell us about terrible football. That's what that's gonna be.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Joe's not good winning football.
Yeah, Joe's bad loss.
Yes.
Like, this is like those games. I don't know how you can sit there and think that this week is. There are. Hold on.
I mean, I've wanted my own segment, but nothing came up organically, and it just never felt right to just be like, "Hey guys, let's shoehorn in something stupid so I can do a thing." This sounds like right up my alley, and
you gotta like turn it into like an alter ego, and you gotta like wear like a dunce cap or something.
We'll figure something out. We can do it either like
hats.
Every pod or just every week, and so be every other pod or something. I love this. This sounds like fun. But at least for now, I'm going to watch 3 out of those 4 games, depending on what I'm working tomorrow and how much I can get through. I'm sure.
You have until Wednesday, so you gotta sit and watch everything.
And you can watch the recap of games on YouTube with every single play. So I'll be able to get through it faster. But it somehow will be more boring because I won't have all the bullshit the guys are saying in between.
There are 4 of the 9 games in the early slate are all under 40 points. And then there's one more that's sitting at 41. Like, you can't tell me that this weekend is full of good football. I mean, even though you mentioned it's not even entertaining.
That's probably why, because they knew everybody would be shopping.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned the Bills and Eagles. I mean, the Bills look like garbage. I mean, they lost to the Broncos, and they really lost in unbelievable ways. Like they just keep making the same stupid mistakes.
Bills
And
are
the
a
Eagles,
trash can right now, about to become a dumpster fire.
yeah,
I just love that. They look like garbage. They lost to the Broncos.
It's yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty. They let the Broncos offense move the ball, and then the Eagles are. I mean, their offense is it's ready to blow up. Really, this is probably the week when they're at home, and so like I said, these games. It's not really that. It'll be fun to see who the hell Patrick Mahomes throws to, and if Travis Kelce gets 5 touchdowns against the Raiders.
Yeah,
but that's not really entertaining football. Like I said, they're going to be close, but that's because they're all going to be bad. And I think really the worst of it is between two. I mean, it really is between the Patriots and the Giants and the Broncos and Browns. Those are probably the 2 ugliest games that we see this week.
All right, we kind of went down a few rabbit holes. Let's get back to the original.
That was fun though.
We're here, and that's Broncos and Browns. Obviously, that's going to be a pick later.
If we wanted to talk that much about Broncos and Browns, Nick, we would have.
Oh, you're not picking it tonight?
No, it's only prime time.
Jesus Christ! Fine.
What we've only picked the Broncos when they've been in prime time. I know it happens a lot, and
you yell at me a lot. So let's just keep going, and
I think we should pick the Broncos. Yeah, that should be one of the games, just because, especially with them actually being worth picking the games. Like, it's not just we're all going to pick the other team type shit. Like, I think we should. Yeah,
we're going to
let's just add it in. Fuck it.
There's 4 games on.
Let's just add it in. Let's do it.
It's on. Turnovers, easy.
Is that
keep the streak that you have going from these last few weeks? I don't think they're going to be few and far between, but you got to get that, and you got to stop the Browns' run game, because there's no way that their offensive firepower and their quarterback is going to beat you. So DTR is not the answer there.
Yep.
He might be more like DTL, down to lose.
Yeah, just keep the pass rush up, keep the coverage consistent, just confuse him, maybe overly blitz him if you find that works, because VJ loves to blitz. So if he can find success doing that, let him do it, do what works. Don't go away from it. That just try not to suck on offense. Just do what you can, score points, move the ball forward, whatever you're going to do, draw penalties. I don't care. And then, of course, I'm looking at my guy, Jaquan McMillan. One more time.
Let's celebrate.
Let's celebrate, fellas. That's how you win for sure.
Do you want to do a quick? What are your keys, Nick?
Along the same lines, keep that defense rolling like it is. Don't tinker with anything. If PJ Locke can play, that's going to help the Broncos a little bit more. But, find somebody to fill that void that they have lost with K-Jack again. But they've managed to play without him, so they've proven they can win without him, as much as it sucks to say. Protect Russ, give him some time to make some decisions. Obviously, most of them are going to be in the flat anyway, but give him time to at least get through a couple reads of his offense, and just keep doing what you're doing.
Do you think the most punts in an NFL game, 16 by the Oakland Raiders against the San Diego Chargers in 1998? I'm trying to find the combined punts, but I wonder if there's I can't have it. I wonder if there's a competition between the most punts ever in a game or not. But over under the Broncos punt 12 times.
Over.
Under, because I feel like there's going to be some turnover on downs.
I guess it would be 11.
Well, you said 12 times?
Yeah, 11 and a half. So technically,
that's a lot. I'll change it to under.
9.5. So 10 or more or 9 or less punts by the Broncos.
I'll go over for that one.
I'll still go under.
Okay. I think it's the over. I'm wondering if this combined punts in this game gets into like the 22, 23 area.
Sorry, I was trying to find a notepad so I could write down the games I need to watch.
Yeah. I feel like it's gonna be really ugly. So I added to the pick'em. We'll choose it later then.
Put first.
We'll go ahead and move on to the ice. Avs are up 3-1 right now with just under 12 and a half minutes left. Sammy G decides to take a leave of absence from the team. He's dealing with some issues off the ice. I'm glad Sammy's getting help. Good for him. He recognized he had a problem. He went to the team, and he's getting that monster taken care of. Good for him. Thoughts are with him that he gets himself back right again.
Yeah, for sure.
On the other side of that coin, the Broncos, we're just talking Broncos, the Avalanche can't keep losing guys. I understand this is a big personal issue, and I'm not trying to ding Sammy. Don't get me wrong. It's just one of those things that the Avs just keep just getting, punched in the liver.
Yeah, I mean, for
No
Sammy,
pun intended.
For Sammy, I mean, obviously, as someone who's gone through something similar to this, like get your help, do what you got to do to get straight, because there's more important things in life than this. As a fan of the team, you want your team and you want your guys to do well, and the best way that we can cheer for Sam Girard is for him to get right. And there's so much more life out there than this. And as the team, it sucks right now. And you just got to hope, that an experience, some might not say that I'm better than I once was, but I'm as good now as I'll ever be. Toby Keith there, everybody.
Yeah.
Country for you. I feel like for myself, like I came back a much better person and a very just better in general, more focused and ready to take on the challenges of life. And so hopefully for Sammy, that's what happens. And then for the Avs on the other side, that he's able to take on those challenges and deal with them in the correct ways, because playing any of these sports, whatever we're talking about, is not an easy task. And I know we can sit here and rip on these guys, but the amount of mental fortitude it takes to overcome personal demons on top of the demons that are flung at you from everywhere when you're not playing well is very difficult. So to go from that personal side to the team, the Avs can't keep losing guys, but this is also about your pipeline and how good, are we going to see the Eagle Anch again? We're kind of seeing some of it from last year, but remember, it's still early. The Avs still won their division last year, still made the playoffs. So panic meter, no,
not at all.
Like it's not one of those that we got to panic.
I wish the Avs could have got Magnus Krona. That would have been cool.
Magnus Krona. That's amazing. Like there's still time, and these guys are getting experience. So while right now it's most important that Sammy G gets his help, and the team needs to worry about getting these young guys some experience, we've seen too many playoffs where the Avs went in for how many years straight that they lost in the second round because of injuries, and they didn't have guys that were able to play at the level or ready to play. Yep. So this gives these guys an opportunity to do that. I'm glad I didn't say doo-doo again.
I'm not.
You did say doo-doo.
Afterwards, but I prefaced it.
I mean, it's time for the Avs to start looking forward. I think they're a little stuck right now with this isn't who we're supposed to be. This is who we're supposed to be. And they're looking at that team from 2 years ago. Yeah, you want a cup with that team. This is not that team anymore. This is a different team, different mentality. You have a different target on your back now too. And so it's a matter of looking beyond what you think you're expected to be and just play your game. Because, I mean, again, we've seen flashes of brilliance with this team. They've got a power offense. It's just sometimes that defense just fails to show up. And, some of it rests on the goaltending too. because Georgie plays a lot. But there's a team aspect that they are trying to weather themselves through because they're missing their captain still, and I don't think anybody really knows if they need to step up and fill that void or if they just need to just kind of let that position hang. But when they show up and just shell out, this is the hockey team that's bound for another Stanley Cup. But then they start getting in their feels and start playing lax and letting the other team dictate the pace of the game. And next thing you know, you're down 8-2.
You never like to be looking up at a snowman.
No. That's a bad night.
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying.
It's like I said, these guys are going to get their experience. I'm not as worried right now about it. They're still trying to find a way to play without Landeskog, and I know they had the whole season last year to do that, but that was still with the thought of Landeskog coming back. So I'm like I said, I'm not worried about it. I'm really just trying to figure out who these guys are. You mentioned they're a different team from 2 years ago. Will this young crop give the Avs, who are going to be in some cap trouble coming up soon, an opportunity to move on? This is a very Nuggets-like opportunity for these young guys to step up and prove that they deserve the playing time and the Avs can move on from some guys this next offseason.
Yeah.
We all knew that the Nuggets weren't going to be able to afford Bruce Brown, and that's more of an NBA rule than it was the Nuggets wanting to pay him. But they also got rid of guys like Jeff Green last year. And so the Avs are going to have to look at some players this offseason and really make some tough decisions. And I think that these guys right now are playing for the opportunity to be on this squad with McKinnon, Rantanen, and Makar and Landeskog hopefully soon this next season. These guys are playing for a chance to do that and be part of a playoff team year in, year out.
Yeah, absolutely. The Avalanche have to be able to replace Bruce Brown and Jeff Green. The Nuggets need to find a way to replace Nazem Kadri and Eric Johnson. That's just how it is.
Well, and I think in a season 2 is also very beneficial because these early games don't mean, I don't want to say they don't mean anything, but they don't mean as much as you start that playoff push. So it gives them time to get adjusted to the speed of the game, how the game is played, and they can bounce between Loveland and Denver and establish themselves within that team so that the big boys know, when little brother comes up because somebody got hurt, we know where to fill him in. We know what he can do.
For sure. Next man up.
Yep. All right. Well, speaking of next man up, I'll go Joe.
That's it. Yeah. Next man or young adult up,
Next team up, the Nuggets. Their in-season tourney may be over, and frankly, I don't care. I'm kind of glad.
Yeah. Joe with the shock face.
Screaming
Da Vinci, or whoever the hell drew that one.
I think that's Van Gogh, right?
Maybe Van Gogh. Yeah, Van Gogh. That's Van Gogh. There you go.
Or is it Picasso?
Yeah, I do.
Weird ones.
I do art, not sports, even though sports can be an art sometimes. Yeah, they didn't care. It didn't matter. Same thing. These guys are trying to figure out what these rotations are going to be. You saw it with Malone and Jokic would not get ejected in a game that mattered, especially Malone in the first 5 minutes of the game, whatever. I don't know what the real game time was, but I know it was like a few minutes into the game. And Jokic isn't getting thrown out of a game that he cares about, and it just shows they don't care about this tournament. It doesn't mean anything. They're in it for the long haul. They want to win. I mean, we give away mid-season awards on so many things, and it's like, how many times do those mid-season best teams? The Cardinals were a team that were undefeated a few years back in the middle of the season, and how did that turn out? Pretty shitty. So
they lost to the eventual Super Bowl representative from that conference, who lost, sadly. But
It's the midseason in this midseason tournament. Joe said it and has said it before. It just doesn't mean that much to most of the star guys. The teams that want to win it are the teams that are young and hungry who haven't had success, and this might be their best opportunity to be successful.
Well,
to
I think
help
the
build a
financial
franchise.
Yeah, Orlando looks really good. You know, they might win it.
And I think the financial aspect too doesn't appeal as much to those bigger powerhouse teams that you're expecting to go to the NBA finals or NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
Whereas, a Houston team is just happy that they might be able to share $1 million with each other.
$500,000. It's not even $1 million. They all get $500,000.
$1 million?
Well,
Yeah. Each guy gets $500,000.
Most of those power, high money teams, guys, not all, obviously, it's spread around the league, but the teams that have the big contracts are usually the ones that have the veterans who are just looking to win championships.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the whole NBA salary cap issue, but I don't know if there's a team with a high cap number right now that really isn't looking towards winning a championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
As soon as a guy gets injured in the mid-season tournament, players are gonna fucking just completely check out.
If it happens,
really trying. Yeah, if that hasn't happened already.
No. If it happens in the championship game, yeah, they're gonna check out. But these are still regular season games that count towards your record. So
but
I don't think they'll blame the in-season tournament. They might blame the court for it, but I don't think they'll blame the in-season tournament for it because these are games that you would have to play anyways.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like I guess it depends on the context of it. But yeah, you're right. It's more so the playoff and final games, whatever the extra games are. But yeah,
it's just the championship.
I don't know. Even still, if they're like going harder than they normally would in a regular season game because they're trying to get that extra $500,000, I mean, that could, injure a younger kind of, cog to your team. Hopefully not for anybody, but as soon as anything like that happens, teams are going to start caring less and less about this. I could see teams offering a $500,000 bonus to guys for just staying healthy throughout the season, regardless of the effect. Like, don't try so hard in the in-season tournament. We'll give you $500,000 to stay healthy for the playoffs.
Well, the NBA has already kind of done that.
Yeah.
You can't win certain awards or be eligible for certain things without playing a certain amount of games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're telling these guys they have to be healthy enough to play and not take as many rest days. So the NBA, in a way, is already saying that you got to play these games. And to go back to kind of what you said, I just thought of something. Yeah. The chance of injury happening actually could happen more from a team playing harder than the other team and not caring in a game. That's where actually the more the injury could happen that I could see. It being a playing game means nothing to, say the Nuggets, just as an example, playing Orlando. And Orlando's going as hard as they can because they're trying to make their push. Like I said, just an example. I know they're not in the same play-in tournament bracket or whatever.
Yeah.
But
you mean in season, not playing
in season.
The play-in matters. Those teams care.
But I could see if Orlando had to play that game, and it would play them into their finals tournament. Like, that's what I'm saying. They're playing like it meant something. The Nuggets are already out. Orlando has a chance to make it in. They have to play hard. The Nuggets don't care, and someone gets hurt because they're playing like it's a playoff game. Because for them, it could be. So I could see an injury coming from that. I just don't know if you can still blame the tournament for something like that as much as it's a game that was scheduled. I mean, it is what it is. It counts. It's the only one that doesn't count is the championship.
It ain't what it isn't.
Makes sense. Yeah, no, I get it, but I don't know. I thought the in-season tournament was kind of dumb to begin with, but that's just me.
Yeah. Play-in makes sense. In-season doesn't.
Yeah. So I mean,
it'll mean something next year. I'm telling you.
If they find a way to make it valuable, then sure, that'll be fun to see. But I don't know, man.
I'm over it.
I can't. Yeah, the funny looking court just looks like some kid in 2K made it. I don't care.
Speaking of that, did you buy that 2K? I sent you a link. It's half off. It was like 59% off.
Oh no, because it doesn't have the Legends
Okay.
mode where you can play as all the old eras and shit with like the LeBron era, Kobe era.
I thought you wanted to get it. My bad.
Yeah, I do want to get it, but you can't play those modes. You have to have a PS5 or the new Xbox. They put it on only those. The other ones, like, yeah, so I can't do like an Alex English, Michael Jordan era.
Okay, so you don't want to buy it, I guess.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna wait till it's free because PlayStation makes it free in one of the monthly games almost every year. So I'm good. You know, I might buy Madden for half off, but even then, I don't like giving those companies money.
I got the new NHL with Cale Makar on the front.
McCare.
Cale, dude, where's Makar?
Oh man. Well, let's transition one more time. Let's get back to the gridiron real quick. Buffs are done. The Falcons are slowly but quickly fading.
Yeah.
CSU is clinging on to their bowl chance lives right now as they trail 14-10.
That's not terrible.
No, but it's still worrisome.
Well, like
I
said like I wrote in the intro or the invite to all of you, there's only 2 good college teams in Colorado right now.
That would be the Ore Diggers up in Golden.
Yep.
And the Pios of Denver.
And the DU Pioneer hockey team who won 9-0 tonight over Yale.
Oh, they should have an Ivy League boys.
Back-to-back shutouts for the DU Pioneers. Shout out to them. 14-0 over their 2-game series against Yale.
Nice.
As Jay Stickney says, my backup school.
Yeah. Yale was my backup.
Either DU or Yale. I mean, they both could have been easily my backups, but
yeah. Easily.
I think my brother got accepted to Yale.
Oh my god!
Sure,
he got accepted to Brown for sure.
Brown's a damn good school. But yeah, there's only 2 good college teams right now. I missed it. CU Buffs women's basketball.
Oh yeah,
there's
three good. Yeah,
there's 3 good college teams in Colorado.
Yeah,
the Buffs lose on the football field. The Buffs lose 6 straight to end the season.
Sick. I mean, the blueprint was there, like we said. Like, it really wasn't that surprising. Sadly, they couldn't overcome it. They didn't have a running game to commit to. They would just go 3 and out if they really did commit because they just could not achieve anything. So it's how it's going to be. They're hopefully building something for next year. They can get some powerful old linemen, maybe a big running back that can actually, get some stuff done so they can keep those quick guys as kind of receiving backs, and we're on to the proverbial Cincinnati.
So I was having dinner with my parents last night, and my dad and I were talking about the CU game today. And we were talking about the odds, and the money line was plus 1,000 for CU to win that game today. I had to throw $10 on it. I don't even care that they lost. Like,
when they were down, you mean?
No, this was yesterday before the game even started.
Wow.
It was plus 1,000 for CU on the money line. I was like, I'll throw that $10 any day.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they lost 17-23. So they were 8 touchdown away. It was a 1-possession game.
Damn.
So, I mean, that would have been a nice 100 and something bucks right there.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what would have been nice? A Logan Thomas touchdown on Thursday night.
Did he not score one?
No. $10 into 1,200. I called Sam Howell. I called Tony Pollard, and I called Brandon Cooks. I needed Logan Thomas.
That's
nice. If Joker didn't make that final shot that he took, that greedy bastard.
Don't take the under on the Joker, man. That's not a good call.
It was a perfect call. He was greedy.
Nope.
Still wouldn't have been 10 into 1,200.
If it was a perfect call, it would have won.
Wouldn't have been.
But
anyway, back to football.
Yeah, it's all right. You're doing better in victory formation anyway. So
the CU Buffs. The way they ended this year, it makes me a little nervous for next year. You know that guys are gone from this team. I mean, we obviously know one coach that's gone.
But there are certain guys though that if they can't hit the portal again, because if they do, they won't be able to play next year.
Yep.
So you got to really think that through too. if we went through this season and I've already transferred once, is it worth me missing a season of playing?
Oh no! That's not what I'm throwing down.
Oh, you're talking about coming to
Dion
Genesis
is cutting people.
Yeah.
Dion is saying adios. Like, good luck. Nice to know you.
Yeah,
It was fun, but
I think Dion's going to try to bring in like a high-profile OC.
Oh, you already
like,
brought in Warren Sapp.
I feel like some guy like what's Cliff Kingsbury up to right now?
Collecting millions from the Cardinals.
Exactly. So he can come and hang out and see you.
He can coach college and get paid.
And just run his spread passing offense with Shedeur and, actually have some success. He is a good college coach and coordinator, I think, for sure.
That's a good call. That's a really
Lane
good call.
Kiffin coaching anybody right now?
Isn't he? I thought he was out west in California somewhere.
Yeah, he's coaching.
Okay. If he's coaching someone, yeah.
But no, give me Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
I know. I love that name.
Yeah, I think that's like a solid. I think it's gonna be somebody of that caliber, but yeah, I think that would work out totally fine. I mean, Patrick Mahomes,
Lane Kiffin, right?
Baker Mayfield. Yeah, I said Lane Kiffin. Is he coaching? Ole Miss.
Oh, okay. I thought he was out west. He's just
I did too.
He's in the old South.
That's not a small enough school to be able to pry him away from like the guy he did this year.
I wouldn't want. I just don't want Kiffin.
No, I don't either. I'm just saying somebody of that like that. Yeah. I think he's going to go for a bigger. I think Pat Shurmur is more of the idea of like bigger name guy. He was a head coach in the NFL. High caliber, whatever. He just sucks because he's Pat Shurmur. So I think he'll try to do something similar with someone who doesn't suck.
What about Chip Kelly?
Oh, Chip Kelly's having success at UCLA.
Yeah, he's at UCLA, but you pry him away from UCLA?
I don't think so. I think he's happy there. I think he's doing his thing. I think he's a little bit above that tier of coach. But yeah, I agree. If this was a couple of years ago, 1,000%. You get Chip Kelly for 1 year because he's going to leave and go somewhere to coach. But fuck it.
I don't know.
Where's Charlie Weiss at these days?
No, I'm good with
Charlie. No.
He probably couldn't breathe in the altitude up here.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't put it past Prime to pull a guy like Kelly over here.
Yeah,
UCLA.
Maybe that's a pretty high caliber school, though. That's a lot of money. I mean, he's making the school a lot of money, but that's two solid head coach level guys. I don't know, unless Chip Kelly's really trying to leverage himself into the SEC or something, so he can dip from UCLA for a year, come coach here, and try to make a college football playoffs for the first time for CU, and then that'll be his goal. And then go on to whoever fires whoever in the SEC. Other than that, though, I don't know, man. I feel like it has to be one of those mid-tier NFL, higher-tier college guys, but not somebody that's already coaching. Somebody that's honestly, Cliff Kingsbury, I think, is the guy to go after, too. I think that's a good call. But, yeah, sorry. To keep harping on the same shit. But that's what I'm thinking, man.
So the Orediggers
for the defense. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, the Orediggers crushed.
They killed it today, which is good because I want them to crush all the way through the playoffs, so that they do get their money this year. I just had it. Hang on, sorry, I got to pull it up again.
The score 56-10.
Yeah, no, I was going to go into next week when they host Central Washington. At home, and the game will be the game time will be determined on Monday.
Well, I mean, hopefully the Orediggers could make their run this year. It's could be the end of. They got a lot of older guys on that team.
Yeah, Matoka's gone, and they got a lot of seniors that are super seniors that are going to be leaving.
Yeah,
so you want to get some of those guys. They're well deserved and well earned championship ring. They've got probably 2 more home games before they send them wherever for the final.
The Orediggers are just proving they could beat Air Force.
Ha!
I would pay to see that game for sure. That would be a fun game to watch.
I really hope that's something that we're moving towards with all of the college football. Like realignment, whatever the fuck. Like, let's have some bowl games between some like lower division. Like, I want whatever team Tyson Bagent played for against some lower tier team from a different state. That's kind of
like
fun.
State that's like
Appalachian State.
Oh, he played. Oh, it wasn't this team with an S, like
I don't know what
or something.
No, I'm pulling it up. Hang on.
They're the team the team that beat
Which is Shepherd.
Shepherd. I knew it was an S. Shepherd. They beat the School of Mines in the playoffs last year.
Oh damn!
Wow.
Damn. Well, School of Mines beat Bagent's record, so
What's that?
The School of Mines quarterback beat Bagent's record for most yards in NCAA history.
Oh, I thought. Okay, I mean, whatever.
I think he got beat pretty quickly afterwards, but he got it for a little bit.
Either way, I thought they lost. I thought Shepherd lost that game to.
No, Shepherd lost to Mines in the semifinals.
Oh, okay. Well, either way. Oh, that's right. That's where it ended for him. But yeah, it would be fun. It would be two contrasting styles to see, Air Force and the Mines. It's like who's going to impose their will.
Avs pull out the victory, 3-1 as the horn goes off. And so, with that, you know what, guys, I think it's time to line up for the victory formation.
You can get into a line?
This is the victory formation.
All right, boys, here we go. Best play in football. 6 right tight diamond victory on 1. Break.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, it's jam.
The Pick'em segment, proving that Colin Zanker is the most humble man in the history of time. Least. Featuring Nick Archuleta, wishing he was somewhere else. And Joe Goodwin, just kind of winging it.
Okay, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are in the victory formation. There's one of us here who knows all about victories lately, and that is Nick.
Not me.
That's me. Yeah.
See if we can get back on track. And since everyone's begging for it, we might as well start off with the game that no one should be watching, unless you're a fan of either of these teams. That was the Browns versus the Broncos.
Woo!
We'll kick it off with that. Browns are plus 102 underdogs visiting Mile High at minus 122. Well, we already know how Nick's going to go, but I might as well ask him first. Nick, who you got?
Going orange and blue, baby. Orange and blue. It's a little weird feeling. I don't know. Again, like the history of this defense right now with second-tier quarterbacks has me a little worried, but I'm going to stick with the high road for now.
Joe, who you got?
I need to come back, so I'm taking Cleveland.
He's playing it strategery-like.
Strategery.
I am going Cleveland too. I don't need to make a comeback, but I do know that I don't trust this Broncos offense against that Cleveland Browns defense. And Myles Garrett, he should have just added a tombstone onto his Halloween decorations for Russell Wilson this week about a month ago, because he's getting in the backfield.
Oh yeah.
We moved to chef's hat on the tombstone, because he cooked.
Probably a burnt chef's hat.
Yeah.
We move on to Sunday night football. This is the Ravens visiting SoFi Stadium and the Los Angeles, formerly San Diego Chargers. The Ravens are
1904.
The Ravens are a favorite at minus 166. Chargers home underdogs at plus 140. Chargers have lost some ugly games in the past few weeks, and the Ravens have won some ugly games in the past few weeks. Joe, who you got?
Is anyone actually going to take the Chargers?
Hey, that's why we got to go around the circle.
Because, come on, it's Quath the Ravens.
Joe is on the Ravens bandwagon.
I'm all over the Quath.
I am actually thinking that the Chargers will win this game. To be honest with you, I think that's something. I feel like the Ravens could take this as an excuse for a letdown after the last few weeks that have been tough games and the Chargers are playing down. So call it a little bit of a trap game. Call it what you want. But I, Colin, am calling it for the Chargers. Nick, who you got?
This is Lamar Jackson injury season.
Oh, please. I'm going against him in fantasy. Take him out.
Me too, actually.
It's a tough decision. I mean, like you said, Colin, the Chargers have been playing down. They need an upper to get them kind of going again. But I feel like that opportunity is going to come against Denver. So I'm going to go Baltimore.
Makes sense. We move on. Monday night football. Oh, no, excuse me. Sunday night hockey.
Nah.
Before we go to Monday, we rotated.
Sunday.
No, this is Sunday night hockey. We have the Anaheim Ducks that aren't that mighty visiting the Edmonton. Somehow we're streaking now Oilers, and we found a way to score goals. The Oilers are favored at minus 265, Ducks at plus 215. I'm just gonna go with Edmonton and Connor Mick doing it. Nick, who you got?
Anaheim home?
No.
Oh.
He's lost a thought.
Damn. I was hoping for a little home cooking for the Ducks. You know, it's great. I'm going to take the Ducks anyway.
Some home
taking the Ducks. Joe, who you got?
I don't know any single players on the Ducks.
But they do know knuckle pucks.
That's true. They do. I mean, I do they still have Goldberg? No, I'll take Edmonton with McDavid and Draisaitl and such. That just seems like the way to go. But who knows? It's early season hockey. Shit's crazy. But yeah, we'll take Edmonton.
And we move on now to Monday Night Football. And the matchup talked about a little bit earlier. It is
got a case of the Mondays.
The resurgent Bears with Justin Fields coming back against the Vikings, who it's questionable if Justin Jefferson is actually going to come back and play in this game.
Or ever again.
But we have the matchup between the Bears and the Vikings. And, of course, because you wanted for, we go back to where it all started. Nick, who you got?
Yeah, forget it. The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Joe, who you got?
Running quarterback versus rocket scientist. That's tough, man. I feel like the Vikings still feel like they have a chance. I feel like they want to prove that they're better than Chicago also. But I feel like this could be the beginning of the crash landing for Josh Dobbs. But I'll take the Vikings.
Joe takes the Vikings, and I do too. I think that this game, hopefully Justin Fields shows why he shouldn't be the Bears starting quarterback, because last week I believe he ran for like 100 yards or like 90 yards and threw for like 120. This Vikings defense, they do have the bye coming up next week too. So
that's great fantasy numbers.
Chance for them to go on the bye. It is. And I do have Justin Fields in one league, but I think the Vikings at home, the Bears are kind of an enigma. You don't know which team is going to show up, and you don't know who their running back is besides Justin Fields. So I just got to go with the Vikings because it should be a close game, and the Vikings have proven one thing over the last 2 seasons. They typically win close games.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I just feel like you can roll the dice. So, gentlemen, I appreciate you. It's always fun to hang out with you.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate everyone who's tuned in and listens and watches.
Yeah.
Yeah, them too.
And thanks to Michael Spillin and all the crew over at E5280 Sports for bringing us aboard. You know, without him, we'd probably still be doing this quietly on Spotify, which you can still find us on Spotify.
Do,
you can find us on
please.
YouTube. And you can find us on E5280sports.com. And while you're
Facebook.
there, don't forget to check out the other shows like The Wheelhouse and Between the Lines and Gridiron Intel and a whole bunch of others. And our bios are on there too. You can read about us.
They've got quality intel.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a dating profile, but I mean, you know, you can learn about us.
Well, and find us on our Facebook, find us on our YouTube, and like it. It helps. Subscribe.
Instagram.
Help us get some numbers and keep going.
Help us get to any
Help me
number of
grow.
subscribers.
Help me grow. All right, for Colin Zanker and Joe Goodwin, I'm Nick Archuleta. This has been the Undrafted Uncensored. Thank you, everybody. Until next time, we love you all. Go Broncos.
I
Go
do
Broncos!
want the Broncos to win. I do, but I don't think they will.
As usual.
Go Broncos.